Make sure you guys have gone and signed up for GBFC Selects. Link is in the description. The game is live for Leeds right now, so you can go and check it out. You can win up to £1,000 just by answering 10 basic questions on the game. Remember, 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Please be gamble aware. Let's get into it. I mean, I don't know what you lot think about this view, but I think it's pretty spectacular for a video setting. Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Taking a little working holiday, you could say. Every week I tend to go away for a couple days, but this time I found a place I bloody love so much. I've gone away for 6 of them, so I need to go a little bit steady. But welcome back to a Leeds United versus Chelsea match preview. Big Premier League game again. I seem to say it all the time at the moment that it's biggest game this or biggest game that. I'm not going to say it's the biggest game because that would take away from the joyous occasions that was both the win at Anfield and the victory at home to Everton last time out. But this game away at Leeds is not only going to be a very difficult one against a side who have actually been in pretty good form. Bielsa, whether you love him or you hate him, and a lot of other people absolutely love him, but he's a controversial character in the way that he gets Leeds playing football, and there's people that always ask the question as to whether or not it's the right thing to do. The way that Chelsea have been playing recently, particularly in terms of the score lines, we've not been conceding many chances, but you know when you play against Leeds that they've got some very good, tricky players that will create opportunities, but at the same time, they concede an awful lot of opportunities as well. And part of me just weirdly thinks that that could actually play right into Chelsea's hands right now with how solid we've been looking. I don't want to jinx it, but the way that Leeds defend at times, we really could go all out and absolutely smash them one, which after all of our recent results where we're getting 3 points, we're keeping clean sheets, but we're not scoring an abundance of goals, that would be an absolute delight, cherry on top of the cake of what has been a delicious dessert worth of form recently. I don't know where I was going with that one there. I was trying to think of cake, 3 points. No, there's no real banter that can go with that one, but it is a big game and there is big decisions that need to be made in this one as to who starts, how do we combat the weird formation lineups that Bielsa's Leeds like to tend to set out to do. They like to make things difficult. They like to make it hard for teams to play. But at the same time, it's very fluid. There's a lot of motion in what they do on the field, not just with the ball, but without the ball as well. All of their players work very hard together. If you do remember, the last time we went to Ellen Road, I'll be very impressed. Leave it in the comments. Don't go and research it on Google. I can tell those of you that do that and those of you that don't. I believe we won 5-1, and I think there was a certain Belgian by the name of Eden Hazard who was on the score sheet. And if I get this wrong, I'm going to look like an absolute fool, but I think it was in 2013, the last time we went to Ellen Road. It's one of those where, as a Chelsea fan, this would be an ideal away day to go to. I'd absolutely love to be at Ellen Road in the Premier League for this one. It isn't possible, but without any further ado, we will move into my predicted starting 11. It's a very difficult starting 11 here because part of me is thinking I don't want to change anything from what I saw against Everton because, in my opinion, it was the perfect performance, the best Premier League performance we've had all season. But at the same time, I think that we will see changes in this game due to a lot of forward players being in very good form right now. Kai Havertz put in an absolutely brilliant display in that game against Everton, which probably means he won't be dropped or can't be dropped for this game. Mason Mount has got to come back in to the starting 11 for me. I think he is so important to this Chelsea team, and his energy could be absolutely massive to combat the energy that Leeds United have all over the field. But we'll start off with the goalkeeper, and it's taken me about 4 minutes to get to this point in the video because I'm just quite excited about everything, to be honest. I'll show you around in a minute. I'll do a little end of the video. I'll show you guys around. I'll do a little mini house tour for where I'm going to be for the next week. But Mendy is the goalkeeper. His stats this season have been absolutely phenomenal, and a lot of that is testament to how Tuchel has come in, completely readapted the way this Chelsea team defend, and therefore Mendy could basically be on holiday like I am right now pretty much every game because he doesn't have shots to save, he doesn't have things to do because we don't allow the opposition to actually get close enough to our goal to ever really trouble the goalkeeper, which is an absolute joy for the keeper. You know, he can turn up, he's not going to break any fingers because all he can do is twiddle his thumbs. It's a nice one. And Mendy's clean sheets have been phenomenal. You know, he's got more clean sheets in the Premier League than he's conceded goals, which is a phenomenal stat, and I don't know how many goalkeepers can turn around and say that one. And then of course we move into the centre-back three. It's been working like a treat recently for Chelsea. I remember when Tuchel took over, and the first couple of games playing with three centre-backs and wing-backs, I thought to myself, how long is it going to be until we see this change? How long is it going to be until we have to realise that we've got so many attacking players to accommodate, and playing with three centre-halves doesn't allow us to do that? Now, it's at a point where if we don't line up with a back three, I'm going to be worried, because I love seeing Chelsea get 3 points. With three centre-backs, we seem to do that on a frequent, consistent basis. We start off with the right centre-back, and it is, of course, captain Cesar Azpilicueta. The man has been an ever-present in the Premier League since Tuchel took over. He's shown his importance, and I think I always say how much I love Tuchel's interviews, but the way he spoke about Azpilicueta this week in his interviews, just, you know, it's everything we think as fans. For those of you that are like me, that we like to get passionate. If we like to say good things about the team, we like to use all the superlatives. We like to use all the emotive language. Tuchel does that in his interviews as well. And as a fan who, you know, I've not always given Azpilicueta the credit he deserves in my videos, but it's not to say that I've ever doubted him as a captain, or I've ever doubted him as Chelsea, one of Chelsea's best defenders. He has been for many years. And I think all of this support that he's now seeing from the manager is only going to help him to keep playing at this level for as long as possible. We then move into the other two centre-backs, the central one and the left-sided centre-back. Every time I do this now, this is the second game in a row, I want to stick Thiago Silva back in this team, but I also can't drop Christensen because he's just been brilliant. You know, I think he's actually undroppable at this moment in time. Ever since he came on in that game away at Spurs in another Chelsea victory, he's been fantastic. So I can't drop him from this team. Christensen starts in the middle. And then I brought Rudiger back into the team for this game. I think, again, it was a case of we played Everton very quickly after another match, so therefore Tuchel made a few changes. And you never really know with a Thomas Tuchel team what it's going to be like, because he does like to tinker with things quite frequently. Maybe we see Silva come in a left centre-back role. I think it's too risky to make too many changes. You know, if Christensen goes to left centre-back, it's basically like making another shift, another change, even if one player comes in and only one player drops out. So maybe we see Zuma drop out because Zuma played the last game, started the last game. Silva comes in, allowing Christensen to stay central, or maybe we just see Rudiger come back into the side. It could be Silva, it could be Rudiger, but I think Azpi and Christensen will remain in the positions that they've been dominating recently. We move into the wing-backs that I've selected for this game, Reece James and Ben Chilwell. The wing play is going to be very important in this one. We're going to need a lot of width, and I think Chilwell and also Reece James could be very useful. Reece for his strength and his pace going forward and his ability to deliver a good ball. Chilwell, it's always a 50-50 at the moment between both him and Marcus Alonso, but today I've just gone with Chilwell. You know, it could be either of them, and now I've said that, it'll probably go and be bloody Marcus Alonso, but I wouldn't mind, to be honest. I'm not going to question any of the starting 11s that Thomas Tuchel puts out these days. We move into a central midfield two, and again, this is a dilemma. You know, part of me thinks, how can Jorginho be dropped after that last game, because he played so well again? I'm not dropping him because I don't like him. People think I'm too harsh on Jorginho. People say, oh, even when you compliment him, you're kind of saying it through gritted teeth, you don't want to admit it. That's an absolute load of codswallop, if that's the correct word to use. So despite that, I'm still going to go with Kante and Kovacic, the double K partnership for this game. It's tough because I think we're going to need a bit of speed on the ball. Jorginho's getting better at that delivery and getting it out of his feet faster. But I think Kante and Kovacic is the perfect combination to try and break up some of that Leeds central play. They've got some strong, pretty dominant on the ball, aggressive players in the middle of the park, Leeds United. So I think the Kante-Kova partnership is going to be one that we need to dig in, use a bit of grit and get the ball back and start progressing it forward. We move into the most exciting area of the field in terms of attacking play, Mason Mount. I'm going to just put all three of them on the screen. I've gone with Mount, Pulisic, Havertz. I think after Tuchel's comments about Pulisic's game time after the match we saw against Everton, I think he's going to start him in this game. I think he's going to start in like the centre forward role, false nine maybe, with Kai Havertz as the advanced striker. I've not been, you know, Timo Werner, I've been impressed with the way that he's playing, but considering how many players you know, have probably deserved to be given chances. And Havertz coming in and playing himself straight into the starting 11, in my view. Mason Mount has obviously got to play as well. He's the first name on the team sheet. For that reason, I've got to drop Timo Werner for this game. You know, he's been missing a lot of big chances. You can get into all the areas as much as you like, but there's only so far that can go before you've actually got to make a decision, you know. And I think Havertz can definitely do that role as the furthest up the field striker. I thought we saw his agility. We saw his strength on the ball at times. You know, he's very tall. He's got a big, lean figure. And I think it could work very well with Christian Pulisic having a little bit of freedom, interchanging with Mason Mount. I think it could be devastating if Chelsea could actually utilise this front three against the Leeds United side where, you know, if they're not fully on their game, they could be there for the taking. I think these three, you don't really know everything that you're going to get. It's not very predictable. Havertz could kind of mould into Werner in a sense and make these little runs in behind, which allows Pulisic the freedom to dribble with the ball, as we know that he loves to do on the edge of the area. Same for Mason Mount as well. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. We've not seen this front three in a Tuchel formation before. Havertz, Pulisic and Mason Mount. It's interesting because there's not really an out-and-out striker there, but I think all three of them could complement each other with little interchangeable play so well in that final third for Chelsea. The subs bench, as always, it's pretty stacked, as you would expect from a Chelsea side with such an in-depth quality squad. As for my predictions for this game, part of me wants to say that we're going to concede a goal because I think Leeds will have chances, but we also don't concede goals. But I also don't want to be here jinxing it, so I'm going to stick with what my head is telling me in this one, and I'm going to say that we're going to go to Elland Road and come away with a 3-1 win. 3 points would be massive, you know. We've got one eye on that match against Atletico coming up. We have to, but we've got to keep this run going. We're in brilliant form right now in the Premier League. I've just seen my camera battery's about to die. Make sure you guys have gone and signed up for GBFC Selects. Link is in the description. The game is live for Leeds right now, so you can go and check it out. You can win up to £1,000 just by answering 10 basic questions on the game. Remember, 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Please be gamble aware. Make sure you go check the link in the description, as I've already said. Gonna wrap this one up here. Let me know your starting 11 and score predictions in the comments down below. The battery's about to exhaust, so I'm gonna wrap this one up here. I will see you maybe for a watch along if the internet's good enough here. If not, it'll be 6 things we learned straight after the game. Come on, you Blues. All right, and for those of you that do give a donkey's scrotum about where Benson's living right now, it's not bad at all, is it really? We've got a nice little infinity pool there, overlooking some mountainous areas. Here's the living space. There's St. Daria, just St. Darian around on the seat. Do a slow zoom in on her on her telephone. Obviously signing up for GBFC Selects £1,000 victory in the bag. Get it, babe. Just copy my answers. I normally get it right. Here we have a delicious hammock with some nice little chairs. Cool little seating area there. Nice bit of grass here that you could definitely kick ball on. This thing here, which is just a nice little side bed. We've got the King's Throne here. Drogba's coming around soon. And then you see the bedroom where it all begins. Nice little den poo. Yeah, classic toaster there. Water, cameras, some absolutely wonderful vitamin C tablets. And yeah, place to cook some food with a view. So, oh, I like vlogging. I miss vlogging. It's so much fun to just see my face on the flipping camera and talk to you all. Anyway, I've already done an outro, so this was kind of just extra for those of you that actually care. So it doesn't really matter how I end this here.